Something's brewing in Los Angeles. The Lakers aren't just sitting around waiting for the season to unfold. They're on the hunt, and not just casually browsing the market. No, according to multiple reliable insiders, this front office is staying aggressive, active, and fully locked in on building a roster that can bring home a championship this season. They've got LeBron James still producing at an elite level, and now Luka Doncic in the fold, and that changes everything. The expectation isn't just playoffs. It's not even conference finals. The expectation is a ring. And the pressure? It's sky high. But here's the twist. Even with that level of urgency, the Lakers aren't making impulsive moves. They're not just chasing every trade rumor. They're walking a tightrope, staying aggressive but strategic, trying to balance immediate contention with long-term sustainability. Because let's be real, this roster doesn't have a mountain of assets left to throw around. So if they're going to make a move, it has to be the right one. Not just a splashy name or a short-term fix, but a trade that actually gets them closer to that Larry O'Brien trophy without setting them back 2 years from now. That's why you hear so much about the Lakers being patient. It's not laziness. It's not fear. It's calculated. They understand the value of the few trade pieces they do have, and they know those pieces get more valuable the closer we get to the trade deadline. The market shifts. Teams who thought they were contenders suddenly start dropping in the standings. Others realize they're stuck in the middle and start selling off parts. You get desperation. You get opportunities. And those are the moments Rob Pelinka has made his name on. Look, names like Andrew Wiggins are already floating around again. The idea being that Golden State, or maybe even Miami, might look to shed salary and reset a bit. That's where things get interesting for the Lakers. See, Wiggins is one of those guys who might be overpaid on paper, but on a championship roster in the right role, he could be a difference maker. Two-way wing, finals experience, and he's still got some years left in the tank. The issue is no contender wants to help another contender unless it benefits them directly. So it becomes a dance. Who's willing to take on money, who's trying to clear the books, and who's willing to wait it out. And that's where the Lakers actually have some leverage. They got expiring contracts. They've got just enough draft capital to make a real offer. But most importantly, they've got the appeal. You plug a player like Wiggins into a lineup that already features Luka and LeBron, you're not just making the playoffs, you're sending a message to the league. You're all in. Now, that's just one name. There are several others being floated, some of them big, some of them more under the radar. And honestly, it's usually the latter that ends up being the most impactful. Think about it. How many deadline deals have we seen where it wasn't the headline name that shifted the balance, but a role player stepping up in the right situation? A guy like Matisse Thybulle, for example. Maybe he doesn't fit perfectly in Portland, but throw him into this Lakers system where you just need him to lock up opposing guards and wings, and suddenly you've got a real piece. Or someone like Haywood Highsmith, another gritty defender, not flashy, but built for playoff basketball. And here's the wild card. We're still going to see teams completely change direction once the season starts. Some are going to fall off a cliff and go into full rebuild. Others will surprise people and suddenly need to offload talent that no longer fits their trajectory. There are always a handful of names that become available at the deadline that nobody was talking about in October. That's why you don't rush. That's why you wait. That's why you let the league landscape unfold. And the Lakers have earned the right to be patient. Rob Pelinka has taken a lot of heat over the years, but you can't ignore what he's pulled off in the last 12 months. Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart. You drop those three names and tell someone that a team acquired all of them in under half a year, and anyone, literally anyone, would call that team a title contender. Doesn't matter if it's the Hornets, the Magic, the Pistons. If they landed Luka and Ayton in a 5-month window, the entire NBA media world would be going insane with praise. But because it's the Lakers, it somehow gets diluted. There's always skepticism. There's always nitpicking. Like, oh, can Luka and LeBron really coexist? Or does Ayton have what it takes to anchor a defense? But when you zoom out, it's obvious. Luka's playing like an MVP. LeBron's still defying time. And Ayton, for all the criticism he took in Phoenix, is a clear upgrade at the 5, especially for this team, with this roster construction that said 2 stars alone don't win you championships anymore. You need role players. You need shooters. You need defensive depth. You need guys who know their role and play it with zero ego. That's where the front office is still looking to improve, particularly at the 3 spot. A starting caliber wing, someone who can defend, knock down open shots, and switch across multiple positions. Wiggins fits that mold, sure. But the Lakers aren't in a rush to pay a premium if they believe someone like Jake LaRavia or even Jared Vanderbilt can step up and fill that role internally. Think about it. If LaRavia or Vondo start showing promise early in the season, the pressure to make a move drops dramatically. Suddenly, you're not scrambling to overpay for a wing. You're letting the roster evolve organically, keeping your picks, and staying flexible for a bigger opportunity down the line. And even someone like Austin Reeves, let's say he agrees to come off the bench for the betterment of the rotation. That changes everything. You solve your starting lineup spacing issues. You get scoring and playmaking in the second unit. You suddenly have options, and that's what every great front office wants. Options. The Lakers know all this. That's why they're holding their cards close. They're fishing, not casting a wide net, but waiting quietly, hands in the water, letting the chaos of the season begin and ready to strike when the right opportunity swims by. It's controlled aggression. You wait. You watch. You don't chase every ripple in the lake. But when the time is right, when the perfect fish comes within reach, you snatch it, and suddenly you're feasting. Now here's where things start to get even more layered. It's not just about whether the Lakers can make a move. It's about when and why they should. Because timing is everything in the NBA. A trade made too early can backfire just as badly as one made too late. And when you're working with players like LeBron James and Luka Doncic, every decision carries extra weight. You don't want to waste a prime season from either of them chasing the wrong piece or jumping at a deal just because you feel pressure to do something. That's the challenge Rob Pelinka faces right now. How do you walk that fine line between patience and passiveness? How do you stay calm enough to let things unfold, while still being ready to pounce the second the right opportunity opens up? It's a balancing act. Because sure, right now, on paper, there are gaps. You could say the team needs another wing, maybe another creator off the bench. You might even argue they could use a bit more rim protection. But here's the thing. Not every flaw has to be fixed by a trade. Some things can evolve naturally through the season. That's why it's smart to hold your assets unless you're sure you're solving the right problem. Let's take the Andrew Wiggins situation, for example. We've already talked about how he could potentially fit this roster like a glove. He's got the size, the athleticism, the defensive chops, the championship experience, all of it. But if you're the Lakers, are you really going to overpay right now for a guy whose value might go down as the season progresses? Especially when you know the Warriors or any other team shedding salary won't have the leverage in February that they think they do in September. This is what makes the trade deadline such a powerful tool. As we get closer to that mid-season mark, desperation increases. That's when players like Wiggins, or maybe someone we're not even talking about yet, become more realistically available, not just in theory, but in price. Miami might be trying to make room. Brooklyn might be looking to reset. You don't know yet, but you will. And when that picture becomes clear, that's when the Lakers can swing for real value. Not a forced deal, not a panic move, a statement. The other angle here is development. Look at Jake LaRavia, a guy who hasn't had the spotlight yet, but is quietly putting in work. You talk to people around the team, and they'll tell you. The coaching staff sees something in him. He's long, smart, and most importantly, he's been dialed in on defense, which is exactly what this team needs at the wing spot. Same goes for Jared Vanderbilt, who already proved he could be a game changer on that end when healthy. If one of those guys steps up and starts contributing real minutes at a high level, guess what? The urgency to make a move drops. You don't just make a trade to say you did something. You let internal growth determine your external needs. That's the philosophy the Lakers are leaning into right now. Internal competition. Let the young guys fight for those minutes. Let the rotation settle in through real basketball. And then, if it becomes clear that there's still a glaring need, that's when you act. Because sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. And that's not to say Rob Pelinka has been shy in the past. Far from it. The guy has pulled off moves that other general managers wouldn't even attempt. But he's also shown the ability to say no. When everyone was yelling for a deal last season, he held firm. No panic, no overreaction. And what happened? Luka Doncic became available. DeAndre Ayton came for free. Marcus Smart fell into their lap. That only happens when you stay patient and let the market come to you. You don't chase chaos. You take advantage of it. And that brings us to the bigger picture. What exactly is the ceiling of this Lakers team? It's a fair question, because while Luka is playing like a guy ready to go win his first MVP, and LeBron is still putting up numbers most players in their prime would kill for, championships are about more than just two stars. You need balance. You need depth. You need shooting, defense, health, and above all, chemistry. That's the part you can't fake. That's what has to develop with time. And that's why you don't just shuffle the deck every time a shiny name pops up. You let the team grow. You give roles a chance to solidify. Like, what happens if Austin Reeves takes another step this year and becomes a consistent 20-point scorer? Or what if Rui Hachimura becomes the go-to option in second units and starts torching second defenses? Suddenly, your needs shift. Your trade targets change. What you thought was a weakness might become a strength, and vice versa. That's what Rob Pelinka understands. The value of letting the season reveal the real problems instead of trying to guess them in advance. And the truth is, every season has turning points. Games where your flaws are exposed. Injuries that change the rotation. Surprise breakout performances. That's when you truly see what your team is made of and what it needs. So instead of rushing into a trade now, the Lakers are wisely waiting to collect all the data. Then, when the dust settles, they'll make their move. And it'll be a calculated strike, not a gamble. But let's not get it twisted. The bar is still the same. This isn't about just making the playoffs or being competitive. This is about winning it all. That's the standard when you have LeBron and Luka on the same roster. No one's here to settle for a second-round exit. This is about banners. It's about legacy. And that kind of pressure forces you to be smart. Not safe, but smart. If there's a move that can truly elevate the Lakers to that next tier, trust me, Rob Pelinka is going to pull the trigger. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in a move that has sent shockwaves through the NBA world, whispers are growing louder that Ron Holland, the Detroit Pistons rising star, is set to make a seismic shift to the Los Angeles Lakers. According to sources close to the situation, Holland has agreed to a 3-year deal with the Lakers, a move that could reshape both franchises' futures. While no official announcement has been made, the NBA grapevine is buzzing, and fans on social media are already speculating about the implications of this potential blockbuster. Holland, who has been a standout performer in Detroit, has drawn attention for his explosive athleticism and sharpshooting ability. Over the past season, he has steadily developed into one of the Pistons' most reliable contributors, showing flashes of brilliance that have caught the eyes of scouts and executives league-wide. For the Lakers, a team constantly on the lookout for young talent to complement their roster, Holland represents a tantalizing prospect, a player who could fit seamlessly into their high-octane style and provide another scoring option alongside their established stars. The timing of this rumored move is particularly intriguing. Detroit, in the midst of a rebuilding phase, may view this as an opportunity to clear cap space or retool their roster around other emerging players. Meanwhile, Los Angeles appears eager to bolster its depth and inject youth into a team that has been searching for the next generation of game changers. Rumors suggest that Holland's contract could include incentives tied to performance milestones, reflecting the Lakers' confidence in his potential to make an immediate impact. Fans have already started weighing in on what this move could mean for the Lakers' championship aspirations. Some argue that Holland's arrival could be the spark the team needs to challenge for the title, while others caution that integrating a young player into a star-studded lineup can sometimes be a delicate process. Nevertheless, the buzz surrounding Holland's possible transfer is impossible to ignore, and speculation continues to grow about the role he might play under Los Angeles' bright lights. While Detroit supporters are bracing for the possibility of losing a promising talent, the Lakers faithful are dreaming of what could be a transformative addition. Whether this rumor solidifies into reality remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. The NBA rumor mill is alive and well, and Ron Holland's potential move to Los Angeles is the latest story fueling endless debate and excitement. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.